All right, now let's put our hands together for the Wanderers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're a few moments away here for the teams meet in the centre for the national anthem. We'd like to have a big thanks to TIO. They are Territories Football longest term corporate partner and have supported the game in the Territory for the last 29 years. Their support spans across leagues, stadiums, the women's games, covering the width and breadth of the Territory. Having signed on as the naming rights partner of the NTFL again for the 2019-20 season, TIO is committed to being the naming rights partner until the culmination of the 2021 season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem? All right, now our team captains will now meet the umpires in the centre of the field for the coin toss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Wanderers have won the coin toss and they've opted to kick towards the airport end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2019-20 TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final. Let's give it up for both teams.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the 2019-20 TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final between St Mary's and Wanderers. My name's Liz Cruz, and joining me in the commentary box, as always, Stu Davis, and a special guest today in NT Thunder Academy coach Jason Rowe. Well, fellas, this is going to be an absolutely cracking game. Can Wanderers do the three-peat, or will St Mary's upset them? Stu, you looking forward to calling this one?
Absolutely. Everyone around town says this is going to be an absolute cracker, and let's hope it pans out that way. Of course, Saints finished 5 games clear on top of the ladder, only losing 1 game for the year, which was, of course, against Wanderers. And as you said, Wanderers going for 3 premierships in a row, so plenty to play for and plenty of expectation from both sides.
And Rowie, you work really closely with all of these young men. Are there any key players that we might see stand out today?
Yeah, thanks, Cruzy. Great to be here. Debut. What a game to debut at. Yeah, for me, the players to watch for Wanderers will be Mick Derrick and Ronald Fijo, the co-captain. And for St Mary's, ones to watch there will be CJ Perkins and Jai Hartung.
So the game's underway. St Mary's have gone forward, or a clever tap back inside, and puts the Wanderers' defence under plenty of pressure, and a rush behind early in the first quarter. And Wanderers bringing it in from the Michael Long centre end. Chip pass in there, and it's marked by Levi Nikoloff for Wanderers at half-back. He's looking to bring the ball grandstand side, and there's a few Saints players there, but ball's on the ground. Picked up nicely there by Tom Barrett. He drives Saints forward towards half forward, and ball on the ground there. Saints trying to work it out. A strong tackle in there, and umpire says we'll have a ball up inside Saints forward 50.
Well, our coaches today for St Mary's, Robert Hale, and for Wanderers, Brenton Motlop, 2 surnames well known in Northern Territory footy, Rowie.
Yeah, very good start there from St Mary's. 2 early inside 50s. Not able to capitalise though. Obviously with the Brenton Motlop and Robbie Hale, very famous names in Territory footy, and obviously the start of their coaching careers, and hopefully they can have some success today.
So a quick kick out of that pack there, but it's all Wanderers in the back pocket, and it was Jason Baird who cleared, but only over the boundary line. And yeah, it's great to have young blokes like that involved in coaching this grade of footy, Rowie, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Rowie, you coached Nightcliff in a grand final last year or the year before in the under-18s before going to coach NT Thunder under-18s?
Yeah, so I coached the Nightcliff Tigers under-18s last year, and yeah, played against Wanderers in the grand final, and yeah, they were just too strong across the board. Too many talented footballers on that side on the day, and yeah, fortunately for them, they won, and yeah, obviously transitioned into the academy coach last year as well.
So Wanderers going into attack for the first time through Jai Jeffrey, but the ball beat all comers over the boundary line, just outside forward 50 for Wanderers, over by the St Mary's club forward pocket, and we'll have a boundary throw in. We're 2.5 minutes into the first quarter, just the one behind on the board so far. Pretty warm day, but there's a bit of a breeze which will help them a little bit. So the ruckman out there, Caleb Schatz for St Mary's, up against Jason Baird for Wanderers. All on the ground now, and Saints the opportunity through Stephen Lampton. He kicks downfield and finds Mitch Musgrove out on the outer wing. So some players with Premier League experience as well, Rowie, and over a couple of years as well, some of these. I know the likes of Mitch Musgrove and Simon Richardson were playing Premier League footy 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I just reckon with the big game today, I reckon that senior finals, that senior experience throughout the season is going to stand up in big moments today. So obviously both sides are stacked with players that have played in Premier League throughout this year and last year. So you'd expect those guys to stand up.
And we've got the first goal on the board. to Nicholas Durkay, an opportunist goal in the goal square. Saints had plenty of numbers around the ball, and eventually it got tapped out to him waiting in the goal square, so just the start that Saints were looking for.
Yeah, great snap there by Nicholas Durkay, another one of St Mary's young guns, and wearing number 1 today. Rowie, how'd you see that one?
Yeah, the Saints just got the forward, got the ball into the top of the square there, and come off hands. It was a good sort of contest there at the top of the square, and yeah, as good forwards do, they get to the front of the pack and take their opportunities when they come.
So at the 4-minute mark, St Mary's 1-17 are leading Wanderers, who are yet to score.
So umpire Andre Price-Quintner gets us underway again. Schatz again with his hand to the ball and gives his St Mary's midfielders the opportunity. Stephen Lampton on the left foot kicks down towards half forward in the marking contest there with Zach Peach. Couldn't take the mark, and now it's hacked out of defence and out towards the outer wing. Wanderers are first there. Clever evasive work by Mick Derrick, and he chips the ball back into the corridor, and there's a contest for ball on the ground. Nicely picked up there by Benjamin Brown for Saints. Drives the ball forward, and Saints have got some numbers and opportunity again for Peach. Out in front of Nicholas Durkay in the left forward pocket. On the left foot he has a snap at goal, but it's just missed to the near side.
Some exciting footy, and Durkay, of course, is another famous name in Northern Territory footy, which we see pop up often. So 5-minute mark, St Mary's 1-8, leading Wanderers, who are yet to score.
Dangerous signs early, guys. St Mary's have had all the play. I think just for Wanderers now, they just need to get a hold of the footy and slow things up a bit and get control of the game. At the moment, it's just all Saints.
So Box there does the tidy up work, gets a hand pass across to Tom Barrett, but his kick was astray and bounced over the boundary line and out of bounds just next to the left-hand behind post at the Michael Long centre end. So Wanderers still got the pressure on them deep in defence as we have a boundary throw in here. Looks like Box is going to do the ruck work here for Saints up against Jamal Lynch. And Lynch in front. Box reaches over the top, gets his hand to the ball. It's a scramble forward on the ground, a quick kick out of the pack, but Wanderers are set up behind the ball, and Jamie Baxter brings them away out of defence towards the outer wing. Toad along in front, and it's a 2-on-2 contest there, but good hands and good delivery inside. Finds Jai Hartung on the outer half forward flank, just outside forward 50. He's got someone inboard, and that's Zach Peach again. He marks just inside 50. I think that distance might test him, Rowie.
Yeah, he'll go right to the line here, but yeah, just on the earlier play there, really good bump by St Mary's captain there, CJ Wilson. Allowed his player to take off, allowed him to run into that open space in front of him and obviously lace up Zach Peach.
So he's got a fair bit on it, as you said, goes towards the line. Oh, off the ground there. Some clever work. That was Ted Castle, I think, and I thought they were going to rush it through from behind, but play on's the call. The kick comes across. Strong contest there, and everyone shakes themselves off and gets up and gets back into it. The ball's still in play, and Wanderers look like they've got the opportunity to bring it away now. Well, ball handling error has let Saints in, and Lampton gets a hand pass inboard, or almost a bit slow, but Peach again, I think it was. Quick kick comes across, and now they go forward through Miles King into the goal square. There's plenty of Wanderers players back there. A couple have a big leap at the ball. On the ground now, they've got the opportunity to clear, and the kick comes outside of their defensive 50, and nicely picked up on the ground and hand passed across. Just a little bit too hot, but he's recovered again, Michael Cooper. Over the ball now, the opportunity for Jaden Wannangmurra, and now ball comes out here, and Donnie James settles it down, kicks inboard, and that's Tipalura, who drives the ball long into the danger area between half forward and full forward. Ball on the ground still. Nice look away hand pass there, and a quick kick in by Jai Jeffrey, and Wanderers player out there with no support, and St Mary's bring it away through Doherty. Kicks long down the wing, but too long for his teammate. And it's picked up by Jamal Lynch. He's got some support in the corridor, but the kick misses all of them. And James Box for Saints picks up, goes straight down the middle of the ground, but chipping in there was the Wanderers defender in Kurt McCurry-Paraman, but tried to play on, but he was under plenty of pressure, tackled with the ball, and it spilled out, and Bo Tedcastle will go back for the set shot, the leading goal kicker in the under-18s competition. Rowie, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good couple of efforts there from Bo Tedcastle. He's caught behind the play, made up with it, and obviously allowed that good tackle there, and obviously finding a free man 20 metres out from goal in Rory Fairchild.
And how good was the composure of James Box there in the middle to set that up as well? Really impressed with James Box's start to this game.
Your ability to lower your eyes going forward and use that hit-up target is crucial in these big games. Obviously, me playing as a defender, a lot of my most of my career defenders, we tend to sag off a little from time to time to help out our teammates, but yeah, good composure from Boxy there.
So the shot at goal missed for a minor score, and Wanderers again under pressure, and again a holding the ball free kick for St Mary's, and this time Tom Barrett will go back on the 50-metre mark. He's got a couple of leads. Lampton's one of them. He's found some space and hits him without much problem at all. So Wanderers defence under a bit of siege at the moment, and just look like they need to tighten up a bit man on man and just chop off those easy passes to unattended players.
Yeah, and of course Stephen Lampton with the ball. He's captain of the side today for St Mary's as he takes his kick right in front of all the Wanderers supporters there up the Michael Long centre end, right on the 50-metre line.
Kick's on the way now. He's got a fairly good piece of it, but it's going to cross the goal. Mark's claimed. It's not paid. Play on's the call. Now Stacks on, and we'll have a ball up in the right forward pocket, just near the behind post there.
Was unlucky there from Rory Fairchild. I thought he took that. But yeah, there's a little bit of finger pointing going on here from the Wanderers' defence at the moment. And
that was some really good work there by Tom Barrett. Just hit the contest hard, kept the ball in front of him, had a bit of a fumble, but was good enough to get it into his hands and onto his boot right on the goal line, and another quick goal there to Saints.
Yeah, well, Tom has only been in Darwin for 6 weeks. He's from Adelaide and he plays with South Adelaide under-18s, so a great opportunistic goal there by Tom. So about the 11.5-minute mark of this quarter now, and St Mary's 2-3-15 are leading Wanderers, who are yet to score.
Yeah, Saints looking pretty dominant at the moment. They've certainly had all the field possession. Wanderers have only gone forward once or twice. Looks like we've got a set-up issue here, so there's the first warning. And it's a warning against St Mary's.
Nah, he's got to go in the middle, mate. He's got to go in the middle.
He thought he had to come off, but he needs to run in the middle. He's sorted it out now.
Of course, in years gone by, you would have just started and they would have been one short in the middle and been disadvantaged, but can't happen anymore. So, strong hit out there by Chris Maureen for Wanderers, but Saints on the end of it initially. Now the opportunity for Wanderers. Dylan Brown out in front, drives the ball forward and towards the boundary line on the outer side. He's there again, tries to tow it off the ground, didn't get much on it. And there's plenty of players around the ball now. It's close to the boundary line. Play on's the call. And Saints trying to work it out of defence back there through Doherty, I think it was, but it's gone over the boundary line. I think Doherty, Liz, another one of those players up from South Australia, plays some under-18s footy in the South Australian competition.
Yeah, he's playing with Central District's under-18s at the moment, and he qualified over the Christmas break. He was up here visiting family, so another one that Saints have brought in, and yeah, a couple of South Australians. If anyone's watching from Adelaide today, a big hello.
So the ball pattered around there from that boundary throw-in, and Wanderers the opportunity now. Kick inside the corridor. Mark on the second grab is paid, and that's Mick Derrick right in the middle of the ground, out in front of CJ Wilson there. And They'll steady things down for Wanderers now. Looking to go straight down the corridor towards the top of the goal square. Off hands, nicely done, but it's strong tackle again. So been a real feature early in this game, St Mary's tackling and pressure on the Wanderers players. Kicks to the outer side now. Mitch Musgrave with a bit of space. Takes a run and a bounce. And now kicks back inside the corridor. Box is floating there. Gets up high, can't take the mark. And now the ball on the ground. And it's going to be a ball up. Of course, James Box would have been one of those premiership players for Wanderers last year, Rowie, and possibly the year before as well, I suppose.
Yeah, Boxy's played in the last 2 premierships with Wanderers, obviously at the end of last year. Him and Joseph Salmon have decided to come over to St Mary's and, again, playing in another grand final. And obviously for Joey as well, he's made the senior team, obviously played a night against Nycliffe. But for me, the clear message from St Mary's coach, Robbie Hale, is to get at them with their pressure, be first at the footy, and then once you win the ball, let's spread on the outside. So let's test them for their fitness. But it's pretty clear what the message is here from Robbie Hale.
Pretty sure Boxy won a Rising Star nomination at the start of the Men's Premier League season as well, about round 3. So another one with Premier League experience out there for St Mary's. As we see the ball go out over near the Wanderers wing there as the players fight for possession.
So Ted Castle underneath there, and plenty of Wanderers players around him. But the Wanderers have got numbers camped in their defence now, just trying to hold back the tide a bit, I think, and see out the quarter and maybe restart at quarter time. But thump out gives them the opportunity to clear out of defence. We've got a 2-on-2 contest here. Ball on the ground. Some hassling work by the Saints defenders again, and kicked off the ground. Musgrave in there, gets a hand pass out, but Wanderers the opportunity now. Again, Tipalura drives the ball long and deep. It's over the head of all players. Saints have got the numbers there first if the ball bounces for them. It's not bouncing for them very kindly, and eventually Wilson picks it up, but he's caught in the tackle, and it's a free kick here going to the other player involved in that contest for Saints, and that's Michael Coleman. He chips across to his captain Lampton, and he's got a player down the wing here, and gets it across to Benjamin Brown, just backward of centre wing on the grandstand side, and he drives the ball further down, but Wanderers have got some numbers there. Picked up in there by Charlie Arthur, but only again as far as Lampton. He drives along the wing. That's a beautifully directed kick to Tom Barrett out in front. He plays on straight away, goes long, and gone really long actually, and too far for his forwards. But Ted Castle, some good work to get it back. A kick, pick up and kick by Michael Danks Graham, but hit the post. And a bit of a let-off for Wanderers there. Looked like almost a certain goal.
How are the hands on Barrett then, Rowie?
Very good. I reckon he's probably been the best player to start, Tommy Barrett. He looks a lot like Mikey Coombs for me, and a lot like Mikey Coombs, as I said, and a little bit of Jeffrey Simon about him. So very solid midfielder, midfielder, as I said, and obviously smart with his ball use and strong over the contest.
So at the 17-minute mark, Saints 2-4-16 are leading Wanderers, who are still yet to score, but they're bringing it down the grandstand wing. But that kick's gone out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a St Mary's free kick.
So they were chipping it around for a minute, but anyway, Schatz was played on with a hand pass, put his teammate in some trouble. Wilson's in there, loses control of the ball.
Jason Baird.
But Doherty did the tidy-up work to Hartung. His kick goes into the centre of the ground now. Wanderers have got numbers there and should be able to tidy this one up. Kick comes deep, straight down the ground. Hartung coming across again, takes the intercept mark at centre-half back, and he's looking to switch the ball to the grandstand side here. Wilson spills that mark under a bit of pressure, and the siren beats them all. So end of the first quarter, it's been all Saints in the first quarter, Liz.
It has. So as we go to the break, St Mary's 2-4-16 lead Wanderers yet to score. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
So we can feel brilliant, feel it together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
We've always done it tough in the Territory because tough always has to be done, and where the needs of many sometimes require the actions of one. As we head into the storm season, Power and Water is committed to doing what needs to be done, building and maintaining the engine room of the Territory, investing in our communities, and always focused on one thing: protecting what's truly precious. To protect your loved ones this storm season, visit powerwater.com.au/prepare for tips and fact sheets.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona.
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now opening Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
Well, welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the second quarter of the Under-18 Boys Grand Final between St Mary's and Wanderers. St Mary's have gotten off to a ripper start, leading 2-4-16 to no score. Rowie, you had to see the first quarter there.
Yeah, obviously a flying start from St Mary's there. Came out of the blocks, as I sort of mentioned in the first quarter, that their pressure around the ball and numbers at the footy as well was a big key for them. For me, I think the message had to be from Brenton at quarter time there is, the boys just had to get their hands on the footy and take their time going forward, because I just felt that they blazed away with the footy a bit, kicked it in long and not actually lowered their eyes, and obviously played into St Mary's hands.
Well, we've seen a 50-metre penalty awarded to Wanderers, Stu, and that is Stanley Tipalura, who'll go and take a shot from right in front of goal up the Michael Long centre end. Yeah,
it was some good work in the middle from Jason Baird, did the ruck work, followed up and found a teammate, won a free kick down the field, and then some ill discipline from the Saints players in not clearing out of the protected zone, and a 50-metre penalty and a goal is just the start that Wanderers would have been looking for.
Absolutely. So not even 1 minute into the second quarter, and Wanderers have got their first goal on the board to Stanley Tipalura. St Mary's 2-4-16 to Wanderers 1-6. Rowie, as Stu said, that would have been the perfect start to the second quarter for the Muck-Mucks. Great
start there. Obviously Jason Baird's playing as a ruck and midfielder. Had a fair play there going forward, and obviously laced out Stanley Tipalura, and I think, as Stewie said there, a bit of ill discipline there from the captain, CJ Wilson. on the mark and gifted them an easy goal there.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see the St Mary's runner, Anthony Hale, run out in no time to settle the boys down as we see play resume.
So Schatz wins that hit out, but it's Wanderers on the ground. Ball's contested in the middle, and Wanderers just nudging it forward, but picked up and cleared out of defence by Barrett again for Saints. Goes inside forward 50 now, picked up nicely there by Danks Graham. His kick goes, drifts across the face and bouncing towards the boundary line. Ted Castle out there with some clever work. Hand passes to himself, picks up again. Hand passes inside to Durkay. Durkay off the outside of the left foot.
Wow. Would have that been play of the day if that went through for a goal?
Some clever work down there, and Ted Castle, of course, clever on the boundary line to keep the ball in play and give his teammate an opportunity. Kick in falls a bit short of the Wanderers players there, and now with Saints again, but a strong tackle, and Jamal Lynch with the tackle there on Tom Barrett, just trying to do a little bit too much, I think, and Lynch takes the kick and chips along here and finds Fijo. Ronald Fijo, he goes in short, but that's chopped off there, well read by the Saints player there, Riley Miller, and Miller kicks off the side of the boot a bit, and it's all Wanderers players waiting underneath that one. Clarence Baird back there, hand passes over the top, but went astray, and it bounces through for another behind to Saints. So a couple of minor scores, and Saints have been a bit inaccurate on shots on goal, but Wanderers bring it in now, and the mark's taken here by Donnie James for Wanderers. He drives the ball along the grandstand wing, and standing underneath that one was John Tipalura, but a free kick's gone against one of his teammates, and Saints through Benjamin Brown. He hand passes backwards here, and Barrett drives it along eventually. Ball on the ground. Again out in front there is Donnie James, gets his kick around the corner, and Wanderers the opportunity again to come out of defence, but there's plenty of Saints numbers there and some strong work. Barrett eventually got the kick, and it's a downfield free kick, I think, for some attention after disposal. And Jai Hartung doesn't realise that it's his free kick down the field, and the ball comes back to him now right on the 50-metre paint. He goes in towards the goal. That's carrying, but again offline to the near side, and Saints look to be kicking with the breeze in this quarter, and it certainly looked like it the way that ball carried.
Yeah, they've been a bit inaccurate though. They've had 8 scoring shots to 1, so they'll want to tidy up their goal kicking there, I think, Rowie. Or 9 now, 2 goals 7, 19 to 1 goal 6.
Yeah, just a little bit inaccurate there, but I thought a couple of really good efforts here on centre wing. One, Riley Miller, head over the footy, attack the ball, and then the second one there was Tommy Barrett, followed suit with him, and obviously got that free kick. So
Wanderers streaming forward now, and shot on goal, unfortunately, after a run and bounce, has missed to the left-hand side, and that was Michael Cooper, I think. Had an opportunity for another goal for Wanderers, but just missed, unfortunately, and Saints will bring it in.
It was a beautiful one-handed pickup by Cooper on the run then, going flat out, but his shot missed as we see Saints bring the ball back in.
On the ground now, Hartung in there doing some hard work. Kick around the corner by Miles King into some space. The ball bounces, picked up there by Lynch. His hand pass doesn't find a teammate, but he's still fighting for the ball on the ground. And Saints with some numbers in there again. Kicked out of defence by Fairchild, and the opportunity here for Peach. Gets a hand pass over the top. Good hand pass inboard by Danks Graham to Lampton. Lampton goes straight down the ground, and it looks like it's Durkay on the end of this one, taking the mark about 25 out straight in front. He looked to play on. He's called to play on now, but that doesn't worry him at all, and kicks the goal. So some reward for St Mary's for some of the possession domination they've had, and field possession they've had, Rowie.
Yeah, they've had a lot of the play again this second quarter here, St Mary's. So as I said earlier, numbers to the footy, generally numbers win out. So, and then their composure going forward as well. Again, lowering their eyes, using that hit-out target or finding their player in space. So a really good kick to advantage there from Stephen Lambton. Seeing that the Wanderers defender was positioned in front, just a simple kick straight over the backside there and yeah, caught him off guard.
And just moved the ball quickly, and so the Wanderers defence didn't have time to get back.
So a second goal to Nick Durkee sees St Mary's 3-7-25 lead Wanderers 1-1-7 as we see St Mary's once again clear the centre through Riley Miller.
And another hit out to Schatz in the middle there, found his captain Lampton, and now Durkee, another opportunity for Saints, centres the ball this time. Oh, some good defensive work, and the ball's punched away. Boxes first to it on the ground, picks up on the second attempt, tries to hook round the corner, but under pressure that kick's gone out of bounds on the full, and so Wanderers through Clarence Baird in the back pocket will have the chance to settle things down. No one looking to stand the mark here, so Baird could play on if he chose to. I think he'd rather just take a breather and settle it down for Wanderers. It's called to play on now, and kicks down the line, but it's Saints in front there through Peach on the ground, picked up by Anthony Raymond. He hand passes forward, kick forward by Charlie Arthur for Wanderers, right towards the swing again. Some clash of bodies, and the ball's held in, so it's certainly pretty willing in the contest. No quarter given, as you would expect, and young men playing for a premiership today, and they don't come around all that often, so you've got to give it your most when you have the opportunity.
That's right. So good solid bump there from Jaden Wonnangmara at the contest there. One's a bit too high, that one there, but having a bit of a physical presence here at the moment.
So St Mary's captain Stephen Lampton will take the free kick as the umpire just asks everyone to settle down, and he's just in front of the grandstand, in front of the Wanderers box actually.
He goes in short and finds Benjamin Brown here. He drives Saints forward towards half forward over the back. Strong mark taken by Simon Richardson, and he'll go back and kick from just inside forward 50.
Of course, Richardson's another one that's played a lot of Premier League footy. He models his game on Nat Fyfe, and he was a runner-up in the Abala medal 2 years ago. This season he's played 17 games and kicked 28 goals, so will he kick another one?
Certainly a strong-looking player. His kick's on the way, but that's not going to worry the goal. It's just snuck in for another minor score. So 3 goals, 8 to St Mary's now, probably keeping Wanderers in the game with their inaccuracy.
They're just Wanderers here. They need to get their numbers to one side. So the ruckman's still standing in the middle of the ground, so he's got to get his midfielders to the bottom of him and obviously work to one side. At the moment, they're just sort of kicking and hoping out of the back line there. So a lack of communication there from the midfielders, and yeah, they really need to get on top of that, because that's another inside 50 for St Mary's.
Zach Peach again with the intercept mark there, and now Saints out at half forward, or hooked over the top pretty cleverly because there were some numbers there. Richardson hand passes on looking for Durkee. He's hooks around the corner now. It's gone high in towards the goal square, but drifts over for a behind again on the near side. And Wanderers will bring it in again. Waylon Walters getting plenty of opportunities to bring the ball back in after minor scores from Saints. And he chips short into the right back pocket this time. And it comes straight back to him, but over his head. And now Ted Castle, the chance, gets a hand pass over the top. Wasn't his best effort. Fell short of his teammate and bounced through for a behind.
And of course, Ted Castle won the Abala medal and the leading goal kicker at the NTFL junior presentation last weekend. So he's had a fantastic season, young Bo, and he's only, I think he's only 16, Rowie.
Yeah, only young fella, only 16. Obviously, great effort for him to come up into the under-18s here this year, and obviously perform the way he has in his game. I thought he was probably a little bit unlucky not to play a senior match throughout the year, but look, he's got plenty of years to develop, and I'm sure he'll be in St Mary's Premier League team early next year.
So Wanderers have worked the ball around the outer side of the ground and still got possession going inside 50, but kick was smothered and Saints through Binyat kicks it out of defence, and his teammate out there, Luke Broadway, has won a free kick.
Yeah, there was just a push in the back there by the Wanderers player.
Kicks down the line, that's gone over the head of Wilson out there, and now Wanderers bounce back and bring it towards half forward, but Saints have a 3-on-1 out there initially. Wanderers players come in to help now, and they've got the opportunity. Ball's on the ground, bouncing around. Quick kick, and Saints trying to work it out of defence. They'll rewarded with a free kick, and Lloyd Raymond back there switches the ball across to the grandstand side of the ground, and Saints have got some players free. Kick comes out here. Peach drops it this time. Diving in there for Wanderers is Mick Derrick. Now he's got the opportunity, pats the ball in front of himself. And again, some strong body work. And Barrett gets a hand pass across to Peach. Peach kicks high downfield, and the marking contest there. Some good defensive work there by Wanderers' Clarence Baird. Hand pass back in board, and he's got it back again. And now drives in towards the centre square. Hartung there couldn't take the mark, keeps his nose over the ball, and eventually gets a hand pass out to Box. Box on the left foot towards centre half forward.
They're on here.
It's out in space. Running towards it for Saints is Broadway. Picks up now, running in towards the open goal. Has the shot, and no problem at all. It's gone straight through the middle for a second goal for Saints in this quarter, and probably some reward for the amount of work that they've done.
For me, sheer work rate at the moment. St Mary's are on top across the whole ground. Defenders are on top, midfielders are on top there, and obviously the forwards are finishing off once the ball comes in there. But yeah, I think for Wanderers now, they just got to sort of focus on the footy now and maybe slow the play up a little, just hang on to the ball and really take the tempo out of the game. And as I said earlier, just kick it long down the line, slow it up, let's reset, stoppage after stoppage, and then reset later.
So the goal there to number 12, Luke Broadway for St Mary's, takes them out to a lead of 4-10-34 to Wanderers 1-1-7 as the umpire balls it up again to recommence play.
No one got a real hit out there. Barrett was first to it for Saints. Got the clearance, drove them towards half forward. Now ball's picked up. A strong tackle there and rewarded. And it's Waylon Walters who'll take the free kick for Wanderers. He goes the talk towards half forward, and good defensive punch away by Ben Brown over the top of Michael Cooper there, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Michael Cooper had his defender cold there, but that kick just had to be to advantage, just out in front. Obviously very lightning quick, which we've seen earlier on in the play, but you had to be to advantage out in front there and let Michael Cooper run onto the play and take an easy mark.
So Barrett again got it out. Peach with the clearing kick. Free kick here to Wanderers, and it'll be Levi Nikoloff who takes that one. He's looking to switch the ball where he's got a running play, and that's a very good kick to advantage. Clarence Baird hand passes over the top. A bit over aggressive in the tackle is the umpire's call, and Wanderers will take the free kick. Chip goes out, and it's Baird again out. In fact, not sure what's happening here.
50-metre free kick there. A little bit of lack of concentration there for the man on the mark. Just crept forward before the kick had happened, and yeah, just an easy 50-metre free kick.
So Jaden Wanamara wants to get on with it. Kicks the goal. So Wanderers' second goal, and their second goal from 50-metre penalties, which Robbie Hale won't be too happy about, I would imagine.
No, he won't. So, but a good goal, nevertheless, to Wanderers. St Mary's 4-10-34 lead. Wanderers 2-1-13 as we approach the 16-minute mark of the second quarter.
2 goals apiece in this quarter, but Saints have had plenty more opportunities that they haven't been able to capitalise on, and so Wanderers are still in the game. Don't worry about that, and obviously plenty of talent in their side, and the ability to make a charge at Saints in the second half, you would think.
There's a fantastic crowd in here today with all the Wanderers and St Mary's supporters. Of course, St Mary's have got their men in the Premier League Grand Final tonight, but it's always good to see a big crowd for the under-18 boys Grand Final as we see Wanderers take it out of the middle once again.
So Cooper on the end of this one picks up, hand passes inboard, gets it back in the 1-2. He just couldn't hang on to it there, but he picks it up now, hooks around the corner on the left foot, keeps the ball in play. Chipping across there for Saints was Lloyd Raymond, kept the ball in play, and now Cooper an opportunity with a shot on goal, but some tidy up work by Doherty back there. Sees the pressure eased a bit, and now Saints again work it out, and they've got numbers on the wing here. Richardson takes the mark. He kicks the ball long where he's got a free player down here in Danks Graham, who's also got a free player in Durkay. Chips it across, but that's put his teammate under plenty of pressure. And Fijay got back for Wanderers. Did really well to affect the spoil, and now he's run the ball out of defence. Hand passes to his teammate, but he was looking the other way. And Saints, in the meantime, have got some numbers around the ball. Durkay gets a hand pass inboard. Kick comes into the goal square now. Sitting under that, beautifully taken mark there by Jamal Lynch, and he plays on straight away. Now loses control of the ball. He's under pressure there from Rory Fairchild, and the ball spilled out of bounds. So good defensive efforts by the Saints forward there to keep the pressure on and eventually win a stalemate and a boundary throw in.
It was great effort there by Ronnie Fijo as well, the co-captain for Wanderers. Clearly outnumbered there in the play, didn't give up, competed in the air, and yeah, thankful for him and his Wanderers team that he's able to stop that goal. So well done there for Ronnie Fijo and the Wanderers Footy Club.
So it's half-time here at the Under-18 Boys Grand Final. St Mary's 4-10-34, leading Wanderers 2-1-13. Goal kickers for St Mary's, there's 2 to Nicholas Durkay, 1 to Luke Broadway and 1 to Tom Barrett, while for Wanderers, Stanley Tipalura and Jaden Wanamara have kicked a goal each. We'll take a short break for half-time and we'll see you back for the second half.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
kilonewton centrifugal force, infrared remote control.
How does he do it?
24.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's high gear we get in, but also its service details, its safety checks. I know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece.
Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1 bun with icing, no pink icing.
Yep, no worries, Terry.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Looking for the best and brightest to join your team? At Quality People, we specialise in finding quality, hard-to-get professionals, and we have an office right here in Darwin. Kick your recruitment goals with Quality People. qualitypeople.com.au.
Now that's quality.
On territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians. Choosing a health fund can be tricky. Some are too big, too small, or just not right at all. But with Territory Health Fund, you can make sure your cover is the right fit.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
All right, that's a massive first half of footy here for the TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final, with Saints 4-10-34 to a Wanderers 2-1-13. The umpires have now made their way back on the field, and we can ensure the field of play is now cleared before we enter the second half of
For
footy.
more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin for the 2019-20 TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final. My name's Liz Cruz, and joining me in the commentary box I've got Stu Davis and Jason Rowe. Saints are currently leading 4-10-34 to Wanderers 2-1-13, but we've picked up something during the halftime break in that Wanderers are playing a player down, Rowie.
Yeah, so obviously the player there, Jesse Motlop, I think there was some issues in regards to his clearance back from the waffle. So unfortunately for Wanderers and for Jesse, and obviously for his family, unable to play. So Wanderers down one number.
A good contest nonetheless, Stu, as we get back into the second half.
So Shat's up in the ruck for Saints, but he was beaten for that one by Chris Maureen. Thumped the ball forward, ball on the ground now, and Shatz will win the free kick, I think, for being caught around the ankles as the Wanderers player dived in for the ball. So, and wanted to argue the call, and umpire Andrew Modra was having none of that, and was awarded a 50-metre penalty and a second one. So this will be a certain goal for St Mary's in the opening seconds of the third quarter, and just what Wanderers didn't need.
Not a good start there from Wanderers. As we sort of said earlier, late in the second quarter, that Wanderers might have stemmed the flow a little bit, but not the start that you wanted for Wanderers.
So Caleb Schatz, the ruckman for St Mary's, gets his first goal on the board, and that stretches that lead out to 27 points now.
And didn't he enjoy that? The big ruckman and all the Saints players got around him as we see him go back to the centre circle for the ball up. And St Mary's 5-10-40, leading Wanderers 2-1-13 at the minute and a half mark of the third quarter.
So the Wanderers players really need to put that out of their mind, concentrate on the game, and as we said, they've got enough talent to still be a threat in this game, and they've got to just focus on playing football now and getting their hands on the ball and getting the ball forward. Schatz up high this time, gets the hit out, but hand pass back inside and kick out wide. The ball's spilled off the chest there under pressure. Wanderers with some numbers there. Fijo picks up hand passes inboard to James. James drives the ball down towards half forward, bounces off a couple of players there, and now the opportunity for Wanderers through Dylan Brown. He kicks the ball towards the outer side. Some good defensive work in front there by Michael Coleman, towed it in front and then again off the ground, clears the ball right out of the defensive area. And now St Mary's with the opportunity through Riley Miller. He's kicked off the ground and now picks up cleanly after getting rid of his opponent. Drives the ball forward, and reaching in there for Saints was Danks Graham. Did well to hook the ball back. Wanderers the opportunity, a hand pass out by McCurry Parriman, and they work it out of defence, but just didn't quite find the target, and Saints cool under pressure. And the kick comes in. Peach again takes the mark, plays on straight away, running inside 50. Standing tall under that one was Danks Graham, I think, and that's a strong overhead mark, about 20 metres out on a slight angle.
A good solid contested mark there from Michael Danks Graham. He spent some time down at Sturt Footy Club in the under-18s, and I believe he is a nephew or the grandson of the great Michael Flash Graham.
All right, well, his shot at goal missed then, and lets Wanderers off the hook a bit.
Some good genes there. Michael Graham, one of St Mary's Sandful and NTFL legend, as we see Wanderers bring it back out on the wing.
Saints got plenty of numbers around this one as the ball hits the ground. Box picks up, hand passes back inboard to a pack of players. Lamp, and eventually on the end of it, Cool Head chips inboard. Hand pass comes back to him now, out to Doherty. Doherty sees a free player at half forward, that's Ted Castle. Draws the opponent and then hand passes over the top to Richardson. Richardson's shot on goal is coming back.
That's a goal.
And he snuck that inside the goal post, and they're really starting to celebrate their goals now, Rowie.
Yeah, he used the breeze quite well there. We thought that was going to go through for a point, but obviously there's a strong breeze out there. Looking at the flags across there, the scoreboard side, used the wind quite well there. So well done, St Mary's, and obviously Simon Richardson.
Yeah, and Bo Tedcastle there to draw the player, and a beautifully weighted handball over to Simon Richardson was great. He might be leading goal kicker, but he hasn't kicked a goal yet today, but he certainly had a hand in a couple, Bo Tedcastle. So at the 4.5 minute mark, St Mary's 6:11:47, lead Wanderers 2-1-13.
Wesley Watson's gone into the ruck for St Mary's, just waiting for players to be in position before umpire Ben Heaslip throws this one up. We're underway now. Again, a big thump there by Jason Baird, and Wanderers the opportunity for the clearance. Kick comes inside forward 50, but St Mary's with the numbers back there and too well organised. Pick it up. The kick comes out to where Mitch Musgrave picks up. He's bundled over after his kick, and his opponent Mick Derrick slaps his hand afterwards, but the damage was already done, and Saints won the free kick. Richardson now chips inboard looking for Tedcastle. He marks. He's got a player out wide, and he goes that way now, and Saints the opportunity to go forward again. Clever work underneath that one by Barrett. Got rid of his opponent, flicked the ball up to his teammate, but it's gone the other way, and now Wanderers bring it out of defence with a bit of a wobbling torpedo. Sitting underneath that was Lloyd Raymond. He lost control of the ball. Tipalura picks up for Wanderers, drives the ball forward. Jeffrey's in there for Wanderers, but good defensive work by Coleman. Gets it out here to Miles King. He had a player free, and Doherty spilt the mark, and now he's put himself under pressure. Ball's caught in underneath him. He could be in trouble here. No, a ball up's going to be called.
Very solid today down at full back there, Mikey Carman. He's been playing on Jai Jeffrey and Mark White Jr. and obviously Stanley Tipalura. So he's held his own. As I said, been solid as a rock and performing very strongly for his team.
So Saints again win that from the contest. Peach comes in from the side, got his hands to the ball, and on the ground was Tedcastle, tapped it in front of himself and then picked up eventually. Drives the ball into some space in the forward line boxes on the end of this, under plenty of pressure down there from the Wanderers defender, but the ball spilled over the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in front of the Michael Long Centre.
So just have a look at this stoppage here, guys. So we've got all Wanderers one side, and then we've got all St Mary's on the other side. So you obviously need to change that up. So around a stoppage, it has to be 1v1. Particularly in your back line there. I think that's Ronnie Fijo, that's Spare, Clarence Baird. All these guys have got to be on their opponents.
And Wesley Watson out on the fat side there all by himself, but fortunately for Wanderers, they won possession and cleared it out of defence. Picked up down there by Fairchild. He's tackled, but umpire said he had no opportunity to get rid of that, and it'll be a ball up. So just forward of wing for St Mary's on the grandstand side. No contest in the ruck this time, and so Wanderers bring it away. Well read there by Chris Maureen, and took the mark. He drives deep inside forward 50 now through the hands. It's Wilson over the back, takes it off hands, and Cool As You Like has a free player in the middle in King. King takes the mark, plays on now, chips it in. Again looking for Coleman. It goes over his head. He runs onto it now, has trouble picking it up. He's under pressure and is tackled. The ball spills out. It stays in play. There's a bit of feeling on the outer side, but anyway, we'll concentrate on the play as it comes back inside. Doherty with some strength there took possession. Hand passed across to Wilson, missed him, but Wilson picks it up, and now he drives the ball out of defence, trying to pick his teammate in amongst four Wanderers players, and the numbers win out eventually. Kick comes forward. Wilson runs onto that one and takes a really good contested mark as he fell to the ground and relieves that pressure. He's switching the ball now to a free player in Ben Brown, and Brown takes the mark, plays on straight away and drives the ball down this grandstand wing where Saints have got a couple of players, and working back onto it now is Kai Alden. He's tackled with the ball and is penalised there, and it'll be a free kick.
Just that fumble there's cost him there. He had the chance to take a chest mark and took his eyes off the footy, fumbled it, and then that allowed the Wanderers player and Mick Derrick to come in and impact, lay that tackle. So keep your eyes on the footy, keep it back to basics, and do the basics right. So
So Brent James kicking that one inside 50 for Wanderers, but was off the side of his boot a bit and bounced out of bounds in front of his teammates. We'll have a boundary throw in about 25 around from the Wanderers' goal at the airport end of TIO Stadium. So it'll be Schatz and Baird again doing the ruck work here. Ball comes to ground now. Kick inboard, but Stephen Lampton sitting in the hole there takes the mark for St Mary's. And now he chips the ball to the outer side where Barrett takes the mark in the back pocket, strolls off with a bounce, and kicks down towards the outer wing. It bounces in front of Luke Broadway and out of bounds just airport side of the TIO Stadium scoreboard for a boundary throw in.
And of course, while we have a quick break in play, the Heritos Medal is the Best on Ground award today, which the field umpires collectively award. So any standouts from either team so far, Rowie, for you? Throw a few names out there quickly.
Yeah, for me, Tom Barrett's been very solid for St Mary's, been consistent all 3 quarters. Just on cue right there. There it is.
Got a kick forward. Nicholas Durkay would have caught the eye of the umpires with a couple of things he's done, but it's Wanderers now. Levi Nikoloff out there handed it off, and ball comes forward. They've got the opportunity here through Jeffrey, got the hand pass forward, but ball couldn't be taken cleanly. Waylon Walder's got the hand pass inboard, but umpires seen something here, and it'll be a St Mary's free kick.
Unfortunate for Wanderers there, because they were setting up and looking forward to goal, and there's still a quarter and a half of footy to be played here, so they'll keep trying as Barrett brings it out on the wing to his captain in Stephen Lampton.
Stephen's been pretty solid as well, I've thought.
Yep.
The first, obviously, 3 quarters.
Anything can happen.
So Rory Fairchild took that mark, drives the ball in deep on the ground, picked up by Jai Hartung. His kick drifts across the face of goal. Sitting underneath that one for St Mary's was Luke Broadway, but his shot at goal was offline, and a minus score again. So some of the finishing hasn't been fantastic for Saints today, and that kicking isn't the best either, and James Box sits under that one and takes the intercept mark, and he looks pretty confident going back. Not looking for options. He's going to have the shot, I think.
18 scoring shots to 3, as you said, Stu. Some of the finishing hasn't been great, but Boxy's going to have his shot on goal from just inside 50 here in front of the Wanderers supporters, but he's put that one out on the full. So the score still stands at St Mary 6-12-48, to Wanderers 2-1-13 at the 12-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
So Wanderers bring it in straight down the ground, and the mark's taken there by Charlie Arthur at centre half back. He plays on now towards the outer side looking for Michael Cooper. Works back well on that one and takes the mark out in front of Broadway for Saints. He brings the ball back inside the corridor, but Barrett again reading the play best, chipped in and took that mark. He's switching the ball. Saints have done that continually today, just switch the ball to a free player, and been pretty disciplined in the way I've gone about it. Ball comes down here to Fairchild. He chips in again, but it's gone over the top of his teammate Caleb Boyd. Ran back onto it, but Wanderers now the opportunity. Fijo just couldn't quite keep it in before he slipped over, and it's gone out of bounds for another boundary throw in. Another one I've been pretty impressed with, Rowie, is Zach Peach. I think he's shown that he's got good hands and gets to where the ball is a fair bit. Very lightly built, Zach, but another one that's got a fair bit of toe about him. Very quick. Again, another smart footballer as well. He started up in the forward pocket, and now he's playing on ball. So, yeah, another solid contributor for Saints.
You guys read my notes, didn't you? I had all those names written down. As we see Stephen Lampton under the ball again there for St Mary's. His teammates pulling him up to see if he's okay as he gets the free kick right in front of his team's interchange box. Chips it back to Doherty, and Doherty now inside centre 50, and just reaching and taking that mark is Miles King for Saints. He switches again to the outer wing, and Barrett's out there.
takes the mark running with the flight, and he's got a free player down the field in Luke Broadway. He's inside 50 now. Kicks in and looking for Ted Castle there. A bit casual, him going for the mark, and spilled it eventually. Comes back into his hands now. Hooks around the corner with the shot at goal, but it's gone across the face, and another behind for St Mary's.
Yeah, I think he thought he had the mark there, Bo, and the umpire didn't pay it. So Wanderers will take the kick in at the 14.5-minute mark, where the score is 6-13-49 to 2-1-13.
Again, missing the target, coming out of defence and putting themselves under pressure. And Saints are swarming all over them as the ball's on the ground. And Jamal Lynch in there under plenty of pressure, and eventually the numbers win out and he's caught holding the ball. And Hartung for St Mary's drives it towards the top of the goal square. Kick off the ground. Looks like that was Barrett again in there. And offline though, I think, and a minor score. Goal umpire looked to be shaping to signal a goal at first, but Wanderers again try the short kick. Again, the teammates under pressure, but a chopping free kick's paid this time, and McCurry Parriman will take the free kick. He chips short again. And we've got a whistle on the play here. It's a 50-metre penalty, is it? Play on's the call now. McCurry Parriman drives the ball straight down the ground. Getting on the end of this one for Wanderers was White. He played on, kicked inside, and found Charlie Arthur inside 50. He's looking at options to give the ball off, but I think eventually might go back and he's looking for someone to run past him now. I think he's signalling to White, but doesn't look confident about kicking this at all. So eventually gets the hand pass off to Cooper. Cooper goes long towards the goal. It looks pretty good, and it snuck inside. So he obviously knew what he was doing there, Charlie Arthur. He didn't have the confidence to go for the goal himself. Wanted someone to come around, and Michael Cooper did eventually, and a good finish.
Yeah, and Cooper becomes the third goal kicker for the Muck Mucks today, joining Stanley Tipalura and Jaden Wanamara. Impressed with Mark White's dreadlocks, though. He looks a bit Snoop Dogg out there, Rowie.
Snoop Dogg, Mark White. Now, looks very impressive there, the hairstyle. But yeah, I just want to have a quick chat about Michael Cooper. So Michael Cooper played 17 games with Tiwi Bombers last year in the Premier League division, and yeah, he's obviously made that decision to come back to Wanderers this year and try and do the same. But yeah, unfortunately, he's only played six Premier League games this year due to the point system. So for me, just on I won't sort of talk too much on it, but with the point system, Michael's in the NT Thunder Academy as well. Played at 2 footy clubs, and he's a 4-pointer. For me, any player that's under the age of sort of 20, and sort of if they're not getting an opportunity at a football club and they decide to move teams for whatever reason, I feel they don't need to be points. So,
as we see the ball brought back in by St Mary's, but Wanderers' John Tipalura has cut that off in front of the St Mary's bench this time, and he'll have a shot on goal from around 50 metres.
So John Tipalura, chance for Wanderers' second goal for the quarter. This looks pretty good. It's swinging back nicely, and it's straight through the middle. And so Wanderers have kicked the last 2 goals now to right on the siren, that one, to keep them in the game at 3/4 time.
Yeah, handy goal there on the siren, Stu. So St Mary's 6-14-50. Lead Wanderers 4-26. The scoreboard will update. We see a little bit of feeling in here at 3/4 time, but the boys are clever enough to separate and go to their respective huddles. We hope, Rowie, big last quarter coming up.
Coming up there, obviously a lot of feeling there towards the end of that quarter. Few words getting said there, as we can see, but yeah, obviously a big quarter coming up in the last one. But for me, St Mary's, their run on the outside, their ability to run, get out into space, use their fitness, their smarts on the outsides, that's what's going to get them over the line, I feel.
Yeah, good leadership there by both teams to separate and hopefully calm heads prevail. Stu, big last quarter coming up. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
You are one of almost 140,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you will need a battery-operated radio and torch with spare batteries, enough food and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. Remember, all important documentation such as passports, photos and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season. Brought to you by TIO.
So we can feel forever, yeah, feel it together, real, together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
We've always done it tough in the Territory because tough always has to be done, and where the needs of many sometimes require the actions of one. As we head into the storm season, Power and Water is committed to doing what needs to be done, building and maintaining the engine room of the Territory, investing in our communities, and always focused on one thing: protecting what's truly precious. To protect your loved ones this storm season, visit powerwater.com.au/prepare for tips and fact sheets.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona? Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now opening Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
We're here for when the heavens open and the winds howl. We're here for when the water just won't stop. We're here for the wet and we're here for the dry. We're here because we know there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
And there's nowhere else we'd rather be either. TIO Home Insurance. We're for Territorians.
All right, and we're heading into the final quarter of the under-18 boys grand final between Saints and Wanderers. Saints 6-14-50 to Wanderers 4-2-26. Let's go, boys.
Well, welcome back to the final quarter of the 2019-20 TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final. A couple of late goals in the third quarter to Wanderers sees St Mary's still leading by 24 points, but it's game on, Rowie. Anything can happen in the last quarter.
Yeah, absolutely for me, game on. Wanderers just need to be a bit more smarter with their approach, be a bit more disciplined. They're definitely back in the game now. Got to get their hands on the footy and, yeah, as I said, just that discipline, they've got to work on that.
So CJ Wilson into the middle of the ground for St Mary's, won that clearance, and now the ball comes out. Ted Castle running in, looking for his first goal in this grand final, and his finishes well. And that's a fantastic start for Saints in the final quarter.
Well, that's the reason why he's leading goal kicker. He just picked that ball up and ran into goal there. Ted Castle, that's his 85th goal for the season. He's kicked from 17 games, best set shot in the club regardless of his age. He moved up from the under-16s this year and won the Abala medal. So well done, Ted Castle. St Mary's 7-14-56, lead Wanderers 4-2-26 at the 52nd mark of the last quarter.
Yeah, Wanderers got those two late goals and thought they might have been on a charge, but that's snuffed that a bit. They'll have to have another go. Dylan Brown over the top, and Cooper gets the clearance for Wanderers this time. Gets the ball inside forward 50. Ball bounces kindly there for McDerrick. He tried to tap it forward, and Saints worked it out. Oh, excellent mark over the top by Donnie James there for Wanderers, and he looks to drive them forward again. Kicks long down towards the goal square. Ball's on the ground. Brown's in there for Saints. Eventually spills out to Coleman, who's been really reliable today.
You've been impressed by him today, Rowie?
Very impressed with Mikey Coleman. He's, as I said earlier, been solid as a rock. Nothing's got past him. He's been really competitive in a one-on-one contest there. Beat his opponent just about every time, and obviously been on the way out. He's had his hand in the play as well.
And another one who's been impressive, Stephen Lampton there, just reading the ball well and gets it into Nick Durkee. The umpire has paid a free kick to Durkee.
I think he might have paid the mark, I think, so that's why he wasn't allowed to play on.
Yeah, so Durkee's already kicked 2 goals and he's going to go back and have a set shot for his third over in front of the St Mary's clubhouse there.
So Nicholas Durkee kicks in towards goal. Now it's going to fall short in the goal square. Oh, strong mark taken in the square there. And it's Fairchild, is it?
Yeah, good solid mark there from Rory Fairchild. Read the play, read the flight of the footy coming in early.
Just clunked it, didn't he, Rory?
Yeah, great contested mark there in the goal square and finished it off.
It's going to make it tough for Wanderers now. That lead stretches out to 36 points, and Saints look pretty determined in the way they're going about it at the moment.
Yeah, and Rory Fairchild becomes St Mary's 7th goal kicker for today at 3-minute mark. St Mary's 8-14-62 lead Wanderers 4-2-26. Nicholas Durkee is their only multiple goal scorer so far.
So umpire Ben Heaslip comes in to get us going again. Wilson's still in the middle for Saints. James Box is in there as well. Cooper for Wanderers and Dylan Brown. And Chris Maureen doing the ruck work. Ball comes out. Box tries to thump it forward. Cooper doing the sweeping work. Gets a hand pass forward to Dylan Brown. He drives the ball forward. It just bounces inside 50 now. Ben Brown for Saints over the top. Hooks it back. But Wanderers on the end of that. Anthony Raymond picks up eventually. Gets his kick as he's slung in the tackle. Goes almost an excellent mark taken, but not quite. And now the ball's loose on the ground. Opportunity for Wanderers to pick up. Hand pass comes forward, but Saints applying plenty of pressure once again. And that's a pretty crude tackle off the ball and will be a St Mary's free kick. And want to be a bit careful, some of these St Mary's players. There's a yellow card shown there, but things are happening behind the umpire's back as he's trying to show that yellow card, and that's Jason Baird who's given his marching orders.
Yeah, so we don't want to see this sort of stuff ruin the grand final. It's been a great game so far. As we approach the 4.5-minute mark of the final quarter, we'll see the players disperse and St Mary's get the free kick and bring it out to the grandstand side where Jai Hartung has marked the ball. Plays on quickly and he gets it to the last goal kicker, Rory Fairchild, who move it on quickly to Mitchie Musgrove, trying to get around his player there.
So Fairchild now kicks deep into the forward 50, but that's not that well directed, but it bounces off the chest there, and Saints have the opportunity. Lampton caught without the ball, and he'll go back. He's been on the end of plenty of hard work today, gets his nose over the ball and wins himself that free kick, and he'll go back and have the set shot now. And I would think if it's not already, this one will seal it. Wanderers not even standing the mark here as Lampton just strolls forward and taps it through for Saints' third goal for the quarter.
Super impressive game by Lampton today as he turns around and shows the green and gold jumper to his crowd there. Rowie, what have you thought of his game today?
Yeah, very solid performance from the captain there. That's what you want in big games and grand finals like today. You just want him to roll your sleeves up, do all the hard work, keep your team focused when it gets a little bit heated at different times. And yeah, he's been a very solid performer there today. I reckon him and Tom Barrett are probably up in the in contention to be the best players on the ground for me.
The skill levels really impressed me by both teams today, but I think the composure of St Mary's for 4 quarters has seen them well. So at the 6-minute mark of the final quarter, St Mary's 9-14-68, lead Wanderers 4-2-26.
So the ball up now, Dylan Brown doing the ruck work for Wanderers. But Schatz gets that hit out on the ground. Barrett's in there again. Wilson for Saints hand passes forward Lampton again on the end of this one. He gets caught in the tackle here, and he's going to be penalised this time. Not a good enough effort to get that one out, and Wanderers play on quickly. That goes through the hands there of Walters, but he recovers well, gets a hand pass to Fijo. Fijo running inside 50, has a bounce, has a second bounce, runs himself into a bit of trouble there. He's remonstrating with his teammates for not giving him options to go forward, and eventually the ball ran out of bounds, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
And we can see Zach Peach, who we were talking about earlier, he's still down after that run down on Ronnie Fijo as the umpire balls it back in, but looks like he's just trying to catch his breath again.
So plenty of numbers around the ball now as tries to work out against. Eventually it comes out to Cooper, who on the left kicks the ball in towards the goal, but sitting back there for St Mary's was Lloyd Raymond all by himself, and he takes the mark and now looks at what he can do up the ground. I'm not sure that was his best option. There was more Wanderers players than Saints there, and they're first to it. Picked up there by Brent James. He hand passes across. Dylan Brown now for Wanderers has a flying shot at goal, but offline and through for a minor score.
Yeah, just had to play the basics there, coming out of the back line, St Mary's. They just had to kick it long down the line, out to space. Too high risky for me going straight up the guts at this time of the game.
So Saints bring it out of defence again. Ball on the ground. Wanderers with the numbers there. Brent James again gets a hand pass across. And again under pressure. The kick's astray, but running onto it for Wanderers was Tipalura. Couldn't control it. And St Mary's worked the ball out of that pack, but Wanderers again with an opportunity. And scrambling for the ball on the ground. Eventually it comes out, and it's Chris Maureen for Wanderers who wheels around and drives the ball long there looking for Jai Jeffrey. Bounces in front of him and over the boundary line for another boundary throw in on the outer side at half forward for Wanderers. So St Mary's ringing the changes here, trying to keep fresh players on the ground, and they've just looked like they've had the edge in conditioning throughout the day, and they're starting to power away with this game now. Hidout comes down. Wanderers the opportunity again as the high kick comes into the top of the goal square. Coleman again doing some good defensive work back there, and eventually sees the ball over the boundary line. So terrific effort in the one-on-one contest, and then was there for the second effort again and saw it out of bounds.
Well, of course, St Mary's had the week off last week after going straight through to the grand final. Do you think that helps come grand final day, Rowie, or is it just the better team on the day?
Definitely. It's probably only a sort of 5% sort of advantage, I would have thought, but yeah, definitely help on a hot day like today. And again, as we've seen throughout each quarter, the St Mary's ability to run and spread, get out under the wings, use their fitness, their smarts has definitely come into play here.
As we just see a little bit of remonstrating there going on between the teams. Frustrations flaring in the last quarter.
So it's a Wanderers free kick and 50-metre penalty now, but the umpire's trying to get Cooper to take that 50-metre penalty and get the game going.
Yeah, the smartest thing to do here would be for the boys just to get on with it and not ruin a good grand final.
So Cooper takes his kick and kicks that goal, and the ball will go back to the centre of the ground. Hopefully things will sort themselves out and we'll get back on with playing some football.
So the 10.5-minute mark of the final quarter, St Mary's 9-14-68, lead Wanderers 4-3-27, as we see a couple of Wanderers players come off and players try to reset and take their positions and get on with the rest of the game, hopefully.
So things are sorting themselves out here. We're just waiting for the restart in the middle of the ground. A number of players interchanging as we after that last goal, and looks like we're set to get going again. 11.5 minutes into the final quarter here at TIO Stadium.
It'll be interesting to see how they set up now, Stu, because there's a couple of yellow cards get thrown out there. So obviously with the 666 rule, with the density ruling, it's obviously Wanderers of there's a couple of players there. Couldn't exactly see who got yellow carded, but the card was pulled out twice there.
So the ball on the ground now, Box out in front, trying to pick it up, keeps the ball in front of himself. Now it spills out, he's in there again, diving for it, but I think he caught the ankles of his opponent there, and Brent James. The advantage is taken, and no, it's not allowed to be taken. James is going to have to take the free kick in front of the TIO Stadium scoreboard on the outer side. And he kicks in short. Arthur there with the hand pass forward. And now Wanderers going towards 50. Jeffrey underneath that one, got chopped across the arms, and will take the free kick for Wanderers. He looks to square the ball across to the other side of the ground here. Tipalura under this one. Takes a good contested mark as two St Mary's players fall to the ground, and he'll casually go back and have a shot at goal, but all too late, I think, Rowie.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good kick there from Jai Jeffrey. Obviously the younger brother of Joel Jeffrey in the National Academy. Yeah, really good kick. Switch of play there, and obviously found Stanley Tipalura unmarked in the forward 50, and obviously a strong mark to finish it off. So
that's not his best finish, unfortunately. It's drifted right across and hit the behind post, out of bounds on the full. So Saints will bring it in at the Michael Long centre end.
And Jai, of course, is the younger brother also of Letitia Jeffrey, who captained the Southern Districts women to their inaugural premiership in the Women's Premier League last week. And I know she's at home with a sick bubba today, so we'll give her a shout out. She was awarded AFL&T Life membership this morning and couldn't make it. So hello to Lala. She'll be watching at home.
Congratulations on your life membership as well.
Yeah, if you have a look on the Northern Territory Football League Facebook page, you can keep up to date with everything that's been happening here on Grand Final Day, and there was a number of people inducted into the AFL&T Life membership ceremony this morning at the Michael Long Centre, as we see St Mary's bring it back into the middle there, and Bo Tedcastle has spilt that mark, but picked up there by Wanderers, who'll put it back into their forward 50.
So Donnie James kicked it in long. Ball's on the ground now, and Wanderers another opportunity. Kick around the corner. Just didn't come back. In fact, went the other way from Michael Cooper there. And now St Mary's through Ben Brown will bring it back in. And just looking to chip it around a bit in the latter stages of this game, I think.
It's been a classy performance by St Mary's today, Rowie, right from the start.
Yeah, they came out of the blocks really early. I think they had 2 goals within the first minute of the play of the game. So for them to continue on and have a really solid four-quarter performance has been a credit to them. Obviously, the game's still going now, but yeah, they've been too strong and too much depth for me.
So Sattler won it there for Wanderers, kicked it in, but only as far as Lloyd Raymond, and now Saints have worked it out of defence. Comes into the centre of the ground where Box takes a mark, hand passes inboard. And St Mary's going in deep again. Ball spills over the back. Running onto it for Saints is Luke Broadway, and he kicks from the top of the goal square and puts through St Mary's 4th goal for the quarter and their 10th for the game.
And that is Broadway's 2nd goal for the game as well, as the score increases to 9-14, 68 to Wanderers 5-4, 34. Sorry, 10-14, 74 to 5-4-64, and St Mary's, I think they've just realised they've actually won the game, and there's a little bit of celebrating going on down there on their bench.
I think the crowd's cheering players as they come off now, which is fair enough. It's been a terrific performance by them today and all year, of course. And obviously, as I said early in the piece, they finished the minor rounds 5 games clear on top, and so it's going to be a deserved premiership for them. It's been a number of years since they've won an under-18s premiership, I would think, Liz.
Yeah, I think so, and Robbie Hale's done a fantastic job down there. It's one thing St Mary's do well. They have a lot of the senior players coach the junior teams, the likes of Shannon Rioli, Henry Labastida, Anthony Vallejo, Johnny Anstess, They're real role models down there at the St Mary's Footy Club, and as a parent of one of those kids who's coached by a Premier League footballer, my son loves going to footy training every week, and it's a fantastic club going down there at St Mary's. I'm a little bit biased, sorry, Wanderers fans.
So Doherty chipped in short, found Tom Barrett, one of the better players on the ground as we've spoken about. He kicks in here and finds Musgrove. Musgrove plays on now, chips it along the wing, but it's cut off there by Mick Derrick for Wanderers. Kicks back inside, play on's the call. More Jamal Lynch swung around, got it on the left boot, and now Donny James kicks long. Donny James hasn't been the worst player for Wanderers today. I think he's been pretty impressive, some of the work he's done. And holding the ball, free kick down there, and Saints still applying that pressure. And that was Binyat for St Mary's, who won that free kick and kicked inboard, and now coming up the corridor. But Wanderers have got some numbers here and an opportunity. Losing his footing there for Wanderers was Chris Maureen. Got the hand pass forward eventually. And now the ball on the ground. It's hooked out of there by Johnny Sattler. But put his teammate under some pressure, and he's run down. And Lloyd Raymond again for Saints out of defence. Kicks to the outer side, and it'll be Luke Broadway. He's done plenty of work on that outer wing today. His kick inside's chopped off though by Josh Greenwood, and but he couldn't take it cleanly, and the ball's bouncing around on the ground towards the boundary line and eventually runs over.
And there's the siren. We see a changing of the guard in the under-18 boys grand final, with St Mary's 10-14-74 defeating Wanderers 5-4-34, as we see players run onto the ground to celebrate with their teammates. What a fantastic game, Stu.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, we're probably hoping for a closer contest, but St Mary's showed their class in this grade today, and rewarded for the work that they've done through the year. Congratulations to Robbie Hale and all his assistants and the volunteers at the club, and the players themselves, of course, who've obviously worked hard to get where they are, Rowie.
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations, St Mary's Footy Club, Robbie, and obviously all the support staff that he has underneath him, and obviously congratulations to Wanderers as well for them to make it into 3 grand finals in a row. Unfortunately falling short for them today, but yeah, congratulations to both teams, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the win.
Well said, Rory. Well, it was actually absolutely fantastic calling the game with both yourself and Stu Davis today. Thanks, guys. We'll be covering all the grand finals today on AFL NTV, and we'll throw down back to the ground for the presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and what a great game we've just witnessed in the TIO NTFL Under-18 Boys Grand Final. Can I ask that both teams please make their way down to the presentation area? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate the Saints on a great win in the Under-18 Boys Grand Final. The Saints 10-14-74 to the Wanderers 5-4-34, a 40-point margin. Congratulations to both teams for a great game played. A big thank you to all the family and friends for attending today, and congratulations to all players and support staff from both clubs for their efforts both on and off the field for this season. I'm joined by Helen Heritos, who will be presenting today's awards, starting with the Heritos Medal for the Best On Ground Medal for Most Outstanding Individual Performance in today's Grand Final. The player deemed Best On Ground in today's Under-18 Boys Grand Final is, from the Saints, number 13, Tom Barrett. Tom, congratulations to you, mate. Well done. A few words?
Thanks to Wanderers for a competition in the Go Final.
Good man. Congratulations, Tom. Go back and join your team. We'll see you up here again very, very shortly. We'd now like to call upon the coach of the runners-up, the Wanderers, Brenton Motlop, to say a few words.
First of all, congratulations to Saints. Well drilled, trained hard all year for your for this success, and yeah, congratulations to you boys. Really showed today how well drilled and structured you are, and congratulations to Robbie and the rest of the guys. Our boys, we spoke about it in there. Got a bit emotional in there, because I feel for you boys, and there's plenty more years to come. We know what we need to do. We want to get it right for next year and the years to come up in the future. All right. So heads up to our boys, and congratulations to Saints.
Thanks, Mots. I'd now like to call upon the coach of the Saints, the winning team this afternoon, Robert Hale, to come forward, say a few words about his team's performance, and to also read his team's list for the medal presentations.
Condolences to Wanderers and my cousin Brenton. You guys were challenging us all year. When we lost years, I knew that I had to make a few changes, and it really gave me a wake-up call as a coach. My boys, congratulations, great effort. 7 months of hard work went into this. A lot of blokes haven't played premiership success, and now you get it. So congratulations to you boys.
Thanks, Rob. Just before he reads out his team to come and collect the medals this afternoon will be presented by AFL legend and the AFL NT Grand Final Ambassador Gilbert McAdams with us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to help us out. Welcome, Gil.
Number 1, Nicholas Durkay. Two, Ben Brown. 3, Lloyd Raymond. 4, the captain, Stephen Lampton. 5, Bo Tedcastle. 6, Mitchie Musgrove. 7, Rory Fairchild. 9, Miles King. 10, James Box. 11, Luke Broadway. 12 Luke Broadway, yeah. 11, Zach Peach. 13, medalist Tommy Barrett. 14, Michael Coleman. 15, Caleb Boyd. 16, Jackson Doherty. 17, Jai Hartung. 18, Riley Miller. 19, Michael Danks Graham. 20, Jack Beniat. 21, Wesley Watson. 25, Caleb Schatz. 28, Kai Alden. And 30, Simo Richardson. 7, Colin James Perkins.
And certainly last but not least, of course, their coach, Robert Hale. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Helen will now present the Premiership Cup flag. Cup and flag. Could we have the captain of the Saints up here with Rob to accept that? And then, of course, we'll invite all the boys up. There it is! All right, ladies and gentlemen, your under-18 premiers, the Saints. Thanks very much, Wanderers. Great game.